Hey, Jennifer, I'm not sure where to start today, but I began asking listeners this story, this new Nanos poll that shows, 67% of Canadians think that Canada's standing on the world stage or a global reputation is in the toilet, basically. What do you think?
Well, Aaron, it's interesting because Nanos has been tracking this for 18 years, and basically what he said is this is the worst result in 18 years. And anybody that's been following, foreign policy and foreign affairs will have noted, a series of gaffes, very, very obvious gaffes, with China, with India. These things were very well documented in Stephen Marr's excellent book, The Prince, which I had to put down because I was getting so mad at reading it, at some of these things I was reading about. And of course, the situation with the United States, which is, worsening as we speak. So of course, that's going to give Canadians perhaps pause for thought about where we stand on the world stage. I don't think that we are any longer what we used to be known as was a middle power during the Mulroney years. That is no longer the case, and I think that not pulling our weight at 2% of GDP for NATO contributes to that as well.
Yeah, good luck when it gets to 5% if Donald Trump, actually holds his word. So I want to get. I did not heard this story, and I see it's in your lineup here, which is Chrystia Freeland now says, if elected, she will trim the cabinet to 20 members from the current 37. I'm starting to think for Chrystia Freeland, who must recognize she's behind, and I know the polls show that now, right, with respect to Mark Carney, she's looking to pull a rabbit out of a hat pretty much every other day.
Well, Aaron, I just don't understand Chrystia Freeland's campaign. It's getting weirder and weirder, and I don't know what she thinks that she's doing. I mean, she needs to convince Liberal members. So she's not running against Donald Trump. She's not running against, Poilievre or Singh or anybody except for the other candidates. By saying that she would essentially cut the cabinet in half, she's also telling loyal Liberals that would, hopefully, speaking of pulling rabbits out of the hat, hopefully get them into power, that there'll be about 50% fewer political jobs for loyal Liberals to expect on the Hill. So I don't know who she thinks that she's trying to convince with these messages. And then referring to Mark Carney as a fonctionnaire is the height of rudeness, because really, I mean, he's had a very distinguished career as a central banker, not just here but in England as well. So he's hardly a fonctionnaire. He's not like giving you a ticket on the street.
Is that intentional? Do you think? Clearly,
no, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm saying she's not fluently French. Maybe she just thought that was, a fair translation for, the fact that he's just a bureaucrat and not someone who served in government.
Well, it even sounds worse in English, a bureaucrat. If you take in either way, referring to him as a bureaucrat, sure, he's not a career politician, but look at it this way. I don't think that Canadians are feeling a lot of love for career politicians these days.
Well, that's true.
So I would be reviewing my messaging in a serious way if I were Madame Freeland, because she needs to look at who her audience is, and that's current Liberal members, because their membership cutoff is over. And by the by, I heard your interview with Karina Gould on Friday was great.
Thank you.
She has good messaging.
Yeah, I like Karina Gould. I don't have a horse in this race, obviously, but I thought she delivered the message fairly well. My other question would have been with respect to Chandra Arya and the fact that the Liberals have told him, sorry, but go run somewhere else. We've still not heard an official reason as to why. What do you make of that?
Well, it's sort of strange, because typically when the Liberal Party red lights a candidate, they're given a reason why. The fact that he hasn't been given a reason is sort of odd. But it's been said. I heard also your interview with Mark Miller yesterday, and I think that what Mark had to say was completely true. That he's shown a kind of disregard for one of Canada's official languages, and given that the Liberal Party is the party of, in quotes, official languages, showing blatant disregard. You want to be prime minister and you don't think you need to speak French, or you don't think you should have to. And this guy's in Ottawa. We're not talking about some guy that's in Western Canada. Yeah. Right across the river from Quebec. I don't think that that's a particularly great way to start a political career as prime minister.
Yes, that's true. It was more, to your point, it was more this idea of, when sort of pushed and said, so you don't think this is important? He said no. So I understand it. I just wonder why the Liberals are waiting on saying anything as to that being the official reason, although Melanie Joly, for all intents and purposes, did say that. If you're going to run for the Liberals, the party of bilingualism, then you have to do it. So maybe we'll leave it at that. I'd move from provincial or from federal politics, or Liberals anyway, to provincial. You have a poll that shows Liberal Party membership is plummeting here in Quebec.
Yeah, and I've got some news for you. I've got a scoop after. So anyway, so they're at just under 10,000 members, which is really, really low. Now, going back to when I was a party officer for the the federal Liberals, we used to have party envy. We would go to their party events sometimes and see like beautiful, like huge memberships, and it was shocking. We'd be jealous, right? Not so much anymore. But what I did was I went into their rules for their leadership to look for their deadline, because unlike the federal Liberals, the Quebec Liberal Party, not related in any way, just saying, they have an extremely long leadership campaign. So their leadership, their membership cutoff is May 9th. So hopefully, if the candidates are doing the job that they should be doing, because there is a new membership portion of the formula that they need to be able to win, it's regions, new members, youth, and so on. They'll be going into all the various regions of Quebec and going and signing up those new members between now and and May 9th. So there's a new candidate. Did you know that, Aaron?
Provincial?
There are 5.
For the Liberals? No, who?
His name is Mario Roy. He's 31 years old. He's a McGill-educated farmer from the Beauce.
Oh.
Yes.
Do we know who he is? I mean, does he have any sort of track time here? With who is this guy? Just a regular farmer?
Well, he was a Liberal, a long-time Liberal. I just found his candidacy when I was going to find the rules. So I was like,
not
hey,
that long time if he's only 31.
Well, since he was 16. So, 15 years.
That's like Karina Gould, right? Since around the same age.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Mario Roy.
Yep.
Okay, we'll keep that name in mind.
And he's a ginger, so that's always a bonus for me.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll stand him in good stead in the race.
You never know.
Listen, let me go to this last thing, because we've been spending a lot of time talking about this. Our caller's pretty upset about this. I was really upset about this. The story on this Montreal Municipal Library that told an English book club that, sorry, you can't come here for your meeting if you're going to speak only English. I don't even know what to say about this, other than I can't believe how long it has taken the city, not the province, because the province already said in their statement that, you know what, the provisions of the language charter do not apply in this case, but the city couldn't find its answer to basically say the same thing. What do you make of this story?
Well, look, it's another case where there's a chill surrounding Bill 96, where they're putting it in the hands of our aforementioned fonctionnaire to try to interpret it, right? And what does it mean? And it has caused a chill. I can say that this has caused a chill even for some of my clients, right? Just not really being sure how things work, but this sends a really bad message to English-speaking Montrealers that we pay tax as well, by the way. And it's the minister. I mean, I was happily surprised that no, it's not providing a service, but the fact that there hasn't been a response from the city of Montreal, and I don't know if we're going to get one. I mean, a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple of months ago now, Valerie Plante chastised Jim Bass at City Council for speaking English. So, she speaks excellent English, but I've never got the idea that she much likes English-speaking Montrealers in our opinions. So,
it's funny. It's funny you say that. I mean, I've had a chance, obviously, to talk to her on many, many occasions, and clearly her English is great. This item never comes up about French versus English, but you're right. On any occasion that it has come up, it seems she's always there to defend French. I've never heard her once necessarily say, you know what, this is a mistake. It shouldn't have happened. So in this case, which is just, it seems so obvious, and she now has, of course, the benefit of the provincial statement saying it's not applicable. Why wouldn't you come out and say something about this?
Well, I don't know. She's not running for re-election. I don't know if she's looking to maybe run with the Parti Québécois or something like that next go around. I don't know. But, it would behoove her, and it would show leadership for at least Valerie Plante herself, or the executive committee member who's responsible for libraries and that type of thing, to come out with not only a statement, but a directive to go to all of these places where Montrealers or other Quebecers can rent space. And that, if Anglos want to speak amongst themselves in English, or with Francophones in English, or with Allophones in English, it's totally cool.
Yeah, well, in a perfect world, I mean, it shouldn't even be in a perfect world. I mean, it should just happen. So let's see. I'll give her the benefit of, maybe not today, but if there's nothing by tomorrow, I think we have to scratch our heads and try to understand why. And by the way, have you seen, is this story even picked up in the French press from what you've seen?
I haven't seen anything in the French press about it at all. I would encourage your earlier guest, Mr. Dorado, and I was listening to him when I was driving around in the horrible snow, so I was saying bad words that I can't say on the show, but I would encourage him to reach out to the Francophone media.
Okay, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that on my own. All right, I want to thank you. Last thing, I forgot. Okay. Have you heard anything about the story? I think the Journal had a story saying Geneviève Guilbeault may run for the federal Conservatives.
Oh, that's not surprising at all. That is very interesting. That is extremely interesting because I don't think that she's going to, even though she's the deputy premier, I think her chances of eventually becoming premier are pretty much null and void, and she would have considerable power, which she likes, in a conservative government.
Keep an ear on that story. Jennifer, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Aaron. Bye-bye.